Yo, what's up? What's up? What's going on? A couple of people, I know, well, not a couple of people, a bunch of people. My goodness. Head to the That Milan podcast Twitter and send out a retweet, send out whatever you can to get people in here. Like, subscribe, comment. Milan have pulled up the upset of their season so far. My goodness. What a victory. What a fucking win. Honestly, what a fucking win. Excuse the language. Sabrina's son, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Don't say bad words. My goodness. There's so many comments from you guys. I can't always just get to them. I'll try and read them as they come in. My God. Let me send Santangelo the link for this episode here that we're streaming. My God. Whew. Okay, Emerson Royale is the greatest of all time. Let's go. Gabbia was incredible. Gabbia, man of the match. I'll try and pull up a poll for you guys. My goodness. Just hard not to get emotional over a victory like that, considering everything that has been happening with this team today. And not today, sorry. Over the past few weeks to start the season. It's just incredible to be able to feel this about the team again, because it just felt like something like this, a victory to be proud of over a team that's clearly had your number for a few years now. I mean, it's great. I am so happy to be wrong about today's result. I am so happy to be wrong about some of the players today. My goodness, the finishing was awful. We'll get to that. Which is good and bad in ways, right? That Milan had the chances to miss in the first place was rather unexpected regarding Inter. I just honestly, there's so much to get to. I want to get some people in here. We're already at 99. I want to get all the other stuff up as well. So excuse me, in terms of some stuff. Yeah. So again, if you're here, please like it up. And subscribe if you have not already. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. So again, I mean, to put it quite simply, today's result is a fantastic one for Milan. Absolutely fantastic. That's 2 straight wins in Serie A. Those are what are you talking about? Literally right here. Anyways. That's not how that works. Yes, Brendan. Well, I mean, just incredible. It could have been 4-1, really. I mean, listen, Magnan made fantastic saves as well. Fantastic saves. We gave up a few chances to Inter. So many different things to discuss and get into. We'll create a poll here real quick for man of the match. And then you guys will have the opportunity to vote on it. We'll go with Matty Cage, Pulisic, Matteo Cage. All right, you have your options. Who choose? Hey, Mike, how you going? How you doing, jeez? Only person I know. And I meant to DM you about this. All my teams beat their rivals this week. Mets are doing well against the Phillies. Worst case split. Jets beat up on the Pats, who they never beat, and then here comes Milan. So that's just awesome. I mean, just in general, how are you not happy about this result? I mean, from minute one on, it looked like Milan were cohesive. Pulisic gets us started off, so we'll just go right into this. Christian Pulisic scoring that opening goal for the second consecutive match for Milan. There was word out on the street that Pulisic was not a big game player. He scores against Liverpool within the first 5 minutes. He scores against Inter within the first 5 minutes. How's that for a big game player? Just saying. Fantastic job by Pulisic today. A complete performance by him. It's got to be said at this point, since the start of last season, Christian Pulisic has been Milan's best player, in my opinion. You don't have to officially agree with that. You don't have to do anything. But me personally, I think Pulisic has had the most well-rounded performances for an offensive player. Defensively, with his work rate, just constantly contributing, whether it's offensively with the goals or even the passing. Just everything about Pulisic has been fantastic. It's just he's just the most informed player at the club. He's been the most consistent since the start of last season. Um, to me. So yeah, we'll get to a couple questions for this. Um, Reinders is fantastic. I love where you're going with this, Diego. Giving love to everybody. There's so many players to give love to. I'll get into everybody as best I can with this. Yeah, we'll see about that. That Thuram save. I mean, Magnan today, right in that conversation for man of the match as well. I know I put Gabbia up a bunch of times scoring the winner. Very stout defensively. Um, Fonseca did very well. I love how Tammy and Morata were today. There's definitely so many people that I could look and point to. I'm going to have to go through the entire list because it's just incredible what we've been able to kind of see today. Sorry, there's so much shit on my plate right now to try and talk about, answer your questions. And then head into it. So we'll start at the back then, I guess, for Milan, right? Just because of this formation switch. Matt and I had talked about this on a couple of occasions. It was brought up and noticeable, basically, when Fonseca was making substitutes in recent matches where he had Morata and Tammy Abraham on at the same time. Fonseca has consistently been making changes to the 11, fitting in different players in different positions, hoping for different results. We've sort of started to slowly see that. We didn't get that full performance against Venezia. Milan are still prone to conceding certain goals. But again, when you have Mike Magnan playing like he did today, you can't help but feel proud about it. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Emerson Royale, where were you on that goal? What were you thinking? What is the coverage there? That lack of fundamental communication, in my opinion, is nowhere near the level of a professional player and not something I'm going to blame the manager on. I tweeted about this saying, listen, I can get on Fonseca for certain decisions like Ruben Loftus-Cheek as the number 10, poor substitutes, so on and so forth. But listen, Mr. Fonseca, when you have a player like this starting, again, Calabria out for this one, Jimenez not truly ready, Florenzi is a right back, but obviously not here. And again, we gave probably our best right back to our heated rivals that we all dislike so greatly. So that was a factor in there. He gets a 7.7 rating on FOTMob. This is why I don't truly love all these. Sabrina, how are you guys doing? Moritz as well. Antonis, thank you guys for all tuning in. Zion, I see you here. Erling Haaland popping in after a draw against Arsenal. We'll get to Matty Cage a little bit after this. But Fikayo Tamori, Fick was a little shaky today. At times he looked good. Other times he was in no man's land like he was on the goal. Really kind of frustrating inconsistency coming from him ever since that injury at the start of last season. He really needs to turn it around. But all in all, not disastrous from him. I thought Teo Hernandez had his best derby since he got sent off a couple years ago. I really do think he put in a really good performance today. I think the attitude of every single player that was on the pitch today was the absolute quality and standard that needs to be put in, week out. That's exactly what you need. You don't need any of this nonsense where guys are giving in this half-assed effort, which we've seen, body language police and all that. But again, Teo Hernandez today, perfect amount of work rate, both directions. Thought he did a good job defensively. So kudos to him. Yusuf Fofana, shaky at times, not the greatest performance in the world. I thought his yellow card was nonsense. It was avoidable from him. I thought he should have also outletted Leao on the one pass. So I think that was just a negative on his end. And Tijani Reinders was getting the man of the match from FootMob. Again, listen, TG, when he's able to carry the ball in space, he's a fantastic player. I think he's one of the better midfielders in Serie A. I mean, my goodness, just really, Reinders is fantastic. Excuse me, Matty Cage. Who's Matty Cage? Matty Cage is Matteo Gabbia. That's who it is. Sorry, this is just. I'm not much of a smiler, but I can't help but smile today because it's just been so tremendous. Honestly, it's just a great victory for Milan here again. So Reinders' work rate, all directions. Milan did not have that central area, seemed to be overmatched from Inter on counterattacks and just just transitionally, they're not outnumbered. The second those substitutes were made by Inzaghi to take some of those players off, the quality of Inter's midfield dropped substantially. We know how good Barella, Mkhitaryan, and even Çalhanoğlu could be for them, because Çalhanoğlu's been phenomenal the past couple of seasons since he's kind of fit into that new role. I want to talk about the two strikers, first of all, Tammy and Morata, the sacrifice that two of these players put into this match, just in build-up play, making the runs, unfortunate finishes from a couple of them. The finishing in general was poor, but again, it's a good sign in general that Milan have the ability to create so much against a side like Inter. I know Inter could have, okay, so like if you play devil's advocate, Milan could have had 4 to 5 goals, right? We all agree with that. Inter probably could have had 3 to 4. That was the reality of the situation in today's match. Our goalkeeper made more chances, saved. And again, Sommer had a pretty good match for Inter. Honestly, he stopped Leao on a couple of occasions. Leao's inconsistency with his finishing, it was a poor performance from him by his standards. We want to see the complete performance. There was moments of brilliance once again from him. The pressing was a bit disjointed when it was him leading that line. Steph Sartori was discussing that and mentioning that in the halftime Twitter spaces. So listen, Rafa can elevate himself, but I think many of fans are pretty upset that he's not the guy to take over these sort of games, and he hasn't in quite some time. And I think those concerns are warranted. I think those are fair points from fans. I don't think certain things are kind of warranted. And then to just finish it out, again, Christian Pulisic, for me, man of the match. If not, you go with Gabbia. For outfielder players, like attacking players, I thought Pulisic was easily the best of the front four. Once again, just a complete performance from him. Super excited and happy about how well he's been playing here. This is literally the perfect place for him. I don't see how he could ever reconsider going somewhere else in his prime. This is home for him now, and Pulisic is slowly growing into something special, I think, at this club. And and that's really going to largely be based off of results and how far this team can go. And hopefully, this is a turning point. We'll get in and talk more about it. Probably recording a podcast tomorrow at Sant'Angelo. Can't give you guys too much for that. Again, want to welcome all of you in. If you have not been in here before, there's 240 of you. Please like the stream if you have not already. Give a little nod to the man of the match. And if you click the description of this stream right now, you could see podcasts. It takes you over to Spotify. Go over there, subscribe to that. You could also subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It's just that Milan podcast. Again, the Twitters of myself and Matt Sant'Angelo are in there. And again, if you know our Twitter, it's that Milan pod. So yeah, again, it's just a crazy amount of results today. Hey, and listen, if you look at the table right now, Milan are right outside of that position there, but Milan have 8 points. They're tied with Inter. They also have the most goals scored in the league. Um, mm, I think what the trick was this go around was that I did not go on Uncle Sharma's podcast and YouTube channel, Mr. Sharma. And look what happens. Milan finally win a derby. This is Milan's first derby win since September of 2022. I believe it was September. If not, it was in October. Rafael Leao got the goal in that one. That was a 3-2 victory. I think Brozovic also scored in that one. How could we not forget about the last time? Emerson Royale's cross to Rafael Leao, man, on that headed save. Listen, 4-4-2 might save Fonseca's job, guys. It might just save his job. There's zero chance Fonseca is sacked now. I hope this is a galvanizing moment. Excuse me for the burps. I truly hope this is a galvanizing moment for not only just this team, the direction of the entire club. This is the standard. This is the standard. I'm not saying every single match week is going to go like this. You're always going to run into different problems with different teams, but 2 of the past 3 results have been great. You can't ask for more. And Milan now have to start rattling off victory after victory. That's the standard set at this moment in time. So we'll end the poll right now because Matteo Gabbia, man of the match. Oh, how it changed up to 68%, over 200 of you. I think Fonseca absolutely has to stick with the 4-4-2. There's no denying it. Again, welcome in everybody. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, like today's video and live stream. It's just fantastic. What a result. What a result for Milan. Really difficult to get angry at this if you're a supporter of the club. you know, just everything that has happened. It's just crazy. It's just crazy the way this team came into this. Uh, it's nuts. It's nuts. But man, bro, how does Okafor miss that chance? By the way, anybody want to talk about that? Chukwueze is going to pop up on the score sheet now. Chukwueze comes on against Inter, doesn't get any credit, right? Chukwueze perfectly set up somebody for a goal, 3-1, should have killed off the game entirely, right? My God, bro. Like all these chances, Leao, I think Tammy, when he makes the run, Pulisic has him on his right. Tammy has Pulisic on his right, doesn't pass over. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mike Grell is interviewing Tammy Abraham right now with Paramount Plus. So they're gonna do a good job with that. So 1 second, we got a little text from Santangelo. We'll see what this is. Santangelo is watching the live stream of some NFL Sunday. So hello, Matthew Sands. Send over a text right now. I'm sure the people would want to hear what you have to say, and I'll translate it for them. Again, guys, just an awesome victory for Milan. I had my Tonali kit on today. This is my Tonali home kit. For this one, we got Pulisic on in the background. Again, it's just overly exciting to see this sort of victory for the club right now. So what we could do is just, what else did I have set up here? I just want this one up the entire time for this point. So now, as of right now, this is the Serie A table after match day 5 for the most part. We have Torino on top of the table with 11 points, who Milan already faced. Napoli are at the table with 10, and second with Udinese right there. Juve, Empoli at 9 points each to round out the 4th and 5th spots. Empoli, yes. And then we have Inter ahead of Milan based off of goal differential, both on 8 points for the 6th and 7th spots. There's a lot worse places to be than 3 points behind Torino in first place after the diabolical start from Milan. That's being optimistic, but also the negatives in which I could spin it are when we go back later into the season, and if Milan were to miss out on a trophy or some sorts after this start, I mean, those drop results weigh heavy. I will say that much. Let's see. This is crazy. This is crazy. Sorry, so many messages right now. Stuff from fantasy football, all these other things. Yeah. So again, this is just incredible. Honestly, this is one of my favorite Milan victories of the past 5 years. Honestly, truthfully. Yeah. So hi, Matt. We'll talk about this a little bit. I think Fofana was mediocre. I want to say. I don't think his first half performance was that great. I think he was just very sloppy. I think he settled more into the game over the course of it, which was just great to see. Just this level of sustainability from Milan at this play, I think is going to be interesting now. I think that's the conversation that moves forward. How often do they play the 4-4-2? Is that striker depth now there? I would argue it is actually, because you do have Morata, Okafor, Tammy, and now Luka Jovic as well. Camarda kind of playing fifth fiddle. Again, just to me, I think the result is just so good. It's kind of hard to talk about a lot of other points with seriousness. This is one of the best teams in Europe. Okay, a team that has dominated Milan, been the best team in Italy for the past few seasons. I think that's all been well documented. The fact that Milan were still able to pull off a victory like this when it seemed like everybody's back's against the wall. There isn't a singular person within this club, I think you could say, for the most part, that didn't feel pressure going into this. The way everybody just rallied around together was fantastic. Hey, Simon, we just have a very quick question for you. Let me know what your favorite colors are, and then we can continue this conversation. Ah, that's what it is. Ah, Interisti crying. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. What happened? I thought you were always going to dominate. I thought you were always going to win. I mean, that's what I thought at least, right? Until I saw today. Inter did worse than Milan. Milan absolutely deserved to win. Take it in the bank. You go and watch those replays the rest of Sunday. Okay, sounds good. So, anyways, yeah, I know Wando, Juventino. Okay, we'll err on the side of caution here. Yeah, it was a crazy miss though. Um, so yeah, again, let's see if Santangelo sent us over a text message. If not, I don't think so. Let's see, message for the folks. Um, and again, yeah, I think it's very funny to me how Fonseca's comments were also about this formation, not just the formation with Reinders and Fofana playing next to each other, and this happened. Reinders Fofana played next to each other and they played fine. I wasn't that shocked by it. That like we knew the best quality midfielders overall through their careers so far are these two. Musa, young and experienced, better as a box to box guy. I'm not too sure how he would have done in a 4-4-2. It's a lot more defensive responsibility, but there is that freedom of moving forward. But yeah, do you guys think? And I'll put this other poll question up here, and you answer it. Start the poll. It's a yes or no question. You guys can enter and write down anything. Just crazy. Just crazy. It's just a crazy result. So good to be wrong, by the way, guys. So good to be wrong. At the end, I got nervous. Just like the turntable this match does Milan's season. Maybe. Could be. I mentioned that in the last podcast. I didn't think it would happen, but I was saying that if they put in a good performance and get a great victory or result, then we should be able to move forward with that. Oh, it's so great. It's so great to be wrong. People are like thinking I give a shit about getting the scoreline wrong. Guys, I don't care. I don't care. You know how happy I am? It's what's up, Game Central? How are you? Man, I agree with you. This comment. We need to see a consistent W's. I agree. Hey, 2 in a row. One more. It's a streak. I mean, they're obviously not going to sack him. I wasn't in the full belief that he would be sacked. Regardless of what happened today, I just don't think you determine that to go down. But you just gotta put your hand up and say, "Great job by Milan. Great job by Milan." This is just a phenomenal situation to be in as a fan base, just to see them rally around with their backs against the wall. So now I think what the very, very important part in all of this and for Milan's mentality moving forward for the rest of the season is going to be this. Okay. How awful you started and how many goals you conceded, many people, probably including yourselves, don't believe you'll ever play that badly again. And you probably won't repeat that level of garbage, right? Now that you've proven that you can come back and get strong results against good sides with a proper formation that finally balances out the squad and the level of players that you have, this should put you back into a position where you can move forward and get positive results. That's the very important thing. Happy birthday, Anthony. I hope you have a great birthday. And it is a great way for you. Happy 30th. Into your 30s with a bang and a Milan win. Very happy for you. Hope your day is great. So again, it's It's just that type of result that could turn a season around. But like the person who just made the comment, it's very obvious that Milan need to string together positive results before we could start moving forward. But building off of this, the confidence is so sky high. Um, and we have a comment from Mr. Santangelo, so we will put this here. Um, Finally able to get to this, Mr. Santangelo. Fonseca's job was on the line, and the team put in a courageous performance for their manager, for one another, and for the fans. There is a good group here. It's time to build off of this. Forza Milan sempre. So thank you to Santangelo for sending that in. Yeah, he agrees with most of you guys, and I gotta say, this has just been awesome, just awesome. Honestly, what a result. Um, Matty Cage. Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing about this Fugazi run to the back-to-back 9 Scudetti. You guys played nobody. It was the worst that the league has ever been in the modern era. Okay, you had zero competition for it. Like, of course, it's not going to repeat it. You guys aren't even going to come close to repeating it. You had to get Inter and Milan both dog shit for years while you had the biggest financial advantage that the league has ever seen. Like, it just, of course, you won 9 in a row. Like if Milan didn't have Juve or Inter competing with them, and they were just gifted a stadium when they weren't able to, you know, listen, Juve deserve those Scudetti, but hey, where's your Champions League? Okay, where is it? You have as many as Nottingham Forest, the tricky trees. My God, goodness, man. I mean, just really great to see. And how about Gabbia again, man? I mean, this is just talk about one of us. Again, so many of you in here. Thank you so much for being here. 238. Jesus. Jesus. Oh, man. Like the stream indeed. Thank you guys. Sorry. Need to catch my breath here. Speaking so much. Um No, I'm just saying if your point is about winning 9 straight, it's not a good point because and I gave you the reasons as to why. That's all. No, Matteo Gabbia is not getting dropped. He starts every big game from here on out. Absolutely. Um yeah. What did Matteo Gabbia find in Spain? Minutes? I mean, god damn. I tweeted last night as a joke. I was like, "What was the funniest result for Milan today?" It was a 1-0 Emerson Royale goal. This is like it's not funny, but it's just it makes you change your entire perception of a team. Not entirely. Um, I thought this team had talent, and I didn't think they were going to win the league. But we'll see. I think this definitely changes the projection of the season. Honestly, crazy. I don't think Emerson was that good. Emerson almost conceded a couple of them. Oh, Fabio, that is so fucking funny. Oh my god, I can't. Fabio, no comment. No, no comment. Not pulling it up. I'll let it stay there because shout out to Fabio, Milan Coast to Coast. You could see their podcast on Milan Weekly Podcast's YouTube channel. He does a good job with Gio. Very nice guys. Fabio and I have been friends for quite some time. He hopped on last week for the live. Always great meeting up with him. Fabio, you go to the city today? I assume not if you're on a YouTube live right now. I assume you're home. But oh man, don't care. Love being wrong when it comes to this. Love being wrong. Just so awesome in general. Just really, I'm running out of words and superlatives for this one. Oh my goodness. Don't even know what's going on. I'm getting a bunch of texts about the NFL. Um, oh God, Ricardas. Okafor, no wonder the Swiss don't play him up front. Okafor saved us many times. Just it's just a little different, I think, in the way the teams are. Just are built differently. Inter are different though. They came back and scored. They both had good mentalities. Inter just played worse than Liverpool. Yeah, again, guys, just a really incredible sort of result for Milan. Potentially season changing for them. To get a win that late is just it's just great. It just really is. Just really is. Um, excuse me. Sorry. So funny to me. All right. I know chat is kind of like dying out right now. Just because I haven't been speaking as much again. We'll get into Milan's schedule. How about that? Their fixture list coming up. They have Lecce and then Leverkusen. Leverkusen is on October 1st. Milan don't play again until Friday. Then they have Fiorentina. And after that, I will be at San Siro for Milan Udinese for my first ever Milan match at San Siro. So first time I'll be in Italy as well. Um, I agree with you. Anthony, how are you, man? Good morning. Not gonna feel bad today. My guy, the only reason I can't even fathom a single smile today is because the Australian bookies don't watch a minute of Italian football and give you guys as high as a $6 prior to kickoff. Inter were heavily favored in most places. So you're saying you bet on Milan to win today? I had so much focus on Inter today, and I thought Lautaro would do that. Uh, it just feels great. It just feels good. It just feels good, man. There's just nothing left that you could say about this. This is if you're a Milanista and you have gone through and seen mostly shit in your conscious life, okay? This is just one of the not all time. This is one of the best results in years. Simple. Um, correct. And then right into international break. Just awesome. I'm always on the lookout for stupid odds, and when it comes to the Derby before. I know Inter were heavily favored for this one, Anthony, and I understood why, but they were also minus 150. Uh, So great, so great. So how's everybody feeling heading into these next fixtures then? Do you think Milan have turned this around at all? Please like the stream already. Whatever any of these tweets mean, sorry. Say Dirato de Giroud was epic as well. Well, that's just if we're being honest here, the past 15 years, there is no better moment in the derby than Giroud. Nothing. Nothing. For me personally, definitely since 2010 on. It's not even close. The magnitude of what that goal meant at that time and what they went on to do after that, nothing beats that for Giroud. Nothing. This was great. I think this goes ahead of the Cutrone one where Antonio Donnarumma started. That was a fun derby victory. But there haven't been that many. Inter have dominated. They've run this. Milan made them run away. I just honestly like Inter don't look like that too often. That was we gotta ask some Inter fans in here on what they think. If there's any Inter fans, they're probably watching Uncle Sharma at the moment. For me, it's just interesting to see how this goes. Um, just honestly, well deserved by Milan. Honestly, so well deserved. Honestly, just so happy for Gabbia, man. Who can't be? Matteo Gabbia, uno di noi. Straight up, this is a guy who is one of us. This is a Milan fan through and through. Went through the youth system, had to go through so much in terms of having the ability to just even play for the club, getting loaned out just last year. Injury crisis happens, gets put back into Milan. He honestly hasn't looked back. Almost every single time he gets an opportunity, he gets on the pitch, he produces. Quality player through and through. Um, I still don't think his ceiling is the highest. I do and have said this on multiple occasions. This is someone who should be wearing this shirt for 10 plus years. There's no reason to get rid of him, in my opinion. He's always going to be useful for Serie A. He's always going to be a useful player for Milan. This is someone who's found a home. I think he's got future games where he's going to feature as the captain. I think there's going to be moments where he gets that opportunity because I think he's just that type of player at this point. Just the mental resolve and fortitude to keep pushing where his career was, the lack of experience. I just that's something that really makes you happy for someone who is of that age, really coming into his own in his career now. How do you not get more confidence? You've done it. You've done it in the biggest of matches now. You step up against Inter. You just do it. It's honestly one of the best stories in Serie A. Simone Inzaghi says Milan deservedly won. Well, thanks. Really awesome. Really awesome. What a set piece. Reinders again, man. That's just fantastic. The elevation by Gabbia. Davide Ferratesi couldn't even mark him. So happy to be wrong. There isn't much left to say and kind of discuss. If you guys just want to bring up a couple of things here, why doesn't the team get on Leao for being? They're not gonna. Okay, that's not how teams work, Daniel. They're not gonna do that publicly. They're not gonna like see it. you know? Reaper, if you're new or you just joined, why are you assuming we didn't say that? That's literally the first thing we talked about. If you want to go all the way back, you could go and see we talked about that. That was the first thing. Do first, number one, rewind that way into the past. We talked about it. We praise Pulisic. I have a clip ready to go to post about Pulisic. Oh, good, Reaper. You're fine. It's not your fault. Just want to say, yeah, it's all the way back at the beginning of this. Tried starting from that. Welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy the game. So yeah, what do we have here? I mean, we just completely outplayed Inter. That's just so funny. That's so funny to me where this team was at, and they just completely outplayed them. Crazy. I wish you could play like it. Man, that's just a positive here. Still frustrated by many of the things and how this team works. I don't know who said anything. So yeah, I think Leao had a poor performance by his standards. We know this. We know this. There's inconsistencies in his game, and I'll be honest with you. Okay, players at their age, after all their experience and minutes played, are highly unlikely to change. What we see right now is more than likely the finished product. Maybe a couple more seasons where he gets more consistency and a greater goal output. But this is kind of who Rafa is. Okay, he is on his day a wonderful player who creates as much as any winger in the world or any player in the world, and can turn a match upside on its head. The only issue is, does he feel like he's capable of doing that week in, week out? And the question often, or the answer often, is said to be no. And I think there has to be truth in that. And unfortunately, when Milanisti talk about this player, they're going to hold him to a higher standard because of the players of the past that have been so great in the shirt, wearing the number 10, and producing on the biggest of stages. With Leao being the highest paid player, people expect that. But to me, I don't care how much you get paid. He should get paid the most because he is the best player on the team. However, that doesn't mean I think he's as good as Kaká was. The best paid player on a Milan team now these days, in terms of money, compared to all the best players in the world, they're not. They're not the best players. Milan don't have a singular top 10 player. They don't. In a couple of positions, they have top 5 players, top 10 players in only 3 spots, right? Matteo, I think Leao, at worst case, is a top 10 left winger, obviously, and Maignan. They don't have these guys littered throughout the squad. It's totally different. Your expectations have to be tempered in comparison. That's kind of where I'm getting at. I think people want Leao to be greater than he is. And so since he doesn't live up to their standards, they're going to get upset about him not reaching their expected standards. For me, I know the player that he is. He's a great creative player. You wish there was more consistency. That you got to understand and listen. I said top 5 in his position. That doesn't mean he's not. Not at center back, not at left back, not at right back, and that's it. Attacking depth is good. Midfield, they don't have the true number 6 that we would need. So again, like Besta Rosa, that doesn't even make sense though. That doesn't make sense. You got to understand. Is Kvaratskhelia or Lookman the better replacement for Leao? There is no replacement. They're not replacing him. Yes, Marcus, he's clearly staying. I mean, again, Andy and other people, I have to bring this to your attention because I think a lot of you fail to understand this. His past 2 seasons had a better goal output than the Scudetto winning team. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Milan have scored the most goals in Serie A. The offense, the attack is not the problem. Again, it is the defense. We talk about this time and time again. This thing with Leao, this obsession, I understand the wanting of a higher standard. But this guy, okay, has been one of the best players in the world. You guys thinking in terms of Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi numbers, Neymar numbers, I'm just saying, well, Andy, if you want to go off of this season, you ready for this? Because not to mention the goal that he just had against his past team. Sorry, he hit the post in his past game against Liverpool. He didn't get one today, but Rafael Leao already has 3 goal contributions in the 5 matches in Serie A this season. Okay, 3 goal contributions in 5 matches. Played against some super defensive sides. Didn't even start in one game. I know we want the goal scoring, but you know what it is? Milan conceding two or more goals in the 3 first matches of the Serie A season. In 4 of the first 6 matches in all competitions, Milan have conceded 2 or more goals. It's the defense. Leao, to what we want him to be, is not there in terms of this goal scoring production and great play on a consistent basis, like top tier goal scoring. Okay, that's not there. We know that. However, but what are you talking about? Saka for a couple of games. This isn't a real conversation. I'm not doing a conversation in bad faith. I'm trying not to do this stuff anymore. If you want to have a conversation in good faith and be fair about things, then we could do that. But if you don't want to be objective about this and move the goalposts within every single conversation, then it's a problem because then this is just nonsense. This is going in circles. If you want to be fair about it, then we'll be fair about it. You mean Lamal is a different animal. Like, guys, I hate to break it to you. The kid is probably going to be better than Leao if he's not already. Because he's a different type of beast of a player. I'm not here to constantly make these comparisons. Lamine is a one of one. He's incredibly rare on the level he's at. Paulo Nesta, I don't know what you're talking about. That should never be for Milan. Leao's a world class left winger, but yes, exactly. Exactly. Hence, we say this every single podcast. Objectively, Andy, what did I just say this entire stream? Not again, I'm really trying hard not to be rude, but did you pay attention to me and not hear what I said this entire time? If you join late, that's okay. You can go back to the beginning and listen. But I went through every player in this 11 and I gave a breakdown of every player and what I thought their performance was. Okay? Of course, two truths can exist, but they can exist if you listen. Okay, you joined 5 minutes ago. So, like, if I join, and this isn't to be rude again, I'm trying to be nice. And this is the way I talk. But if you join a stream for 5 minutes and start making comments that come across as assumptions on what someone thinks, isn't that on you for not being here long enough and listening to everything I said? How could you know every opinion of mine when I've been live for 50 minutes and you've been here for 5? That's not fair. You know, that's just like assuming I said things or didn't say things. That's not how things should work. You get what I'm saying? Like if I did say that Leao has consistency, that would not only be incorrect, that's something you can get on me about, but that's not. No, no, we shouldn't. We should not be changing formations against one of the best teams in the world. Straight up, we should not. That's you want another formation change when we don't have the personnel for it, we don't have the players for that, and then you want to do it against Leverkusen. I agree, Nicholas. Yes, Nicholas. Yes, this is exactly what it is. People have distorted their, and again, I'm not saying it's excusable for Rafa to be this poor of a finisher. It's not. I think just the level of it and the ball striking ability is poor. Um, you okay? So we'll go here because the way you phrase things, okay, is Leao for this season needs to get back to the basics. pass and go. You're saying he didn't do anything what he did the past couple of seasons. So you're making an overall judgment of a player through 5 matches? Like, and then like, dude, seriously? Like, come on. Body language is always a funny thing. And I understand, Rob, I appreciate your comment. Body language is funny, right? Body language gets amplified depending upon the situation. Rafael Leao, he's scoring goals. Nobody cares about his body language, right? Doesn't matter. He scored a goal. He did his job. However, again, and we've said this, and I think everybody on this in this fan base and everyone that is, when they are critical of Rafael Leao, says the same thing, and the same thing is this: when you and things are going well, your body language seems fine. But when things are going poorly, how do you respond? And when your best player and your highest paid player who is not scoring, he is not creating chances, and all that other stuff of like when you can't play well, how do you respond? How do you go about playing well? What do you do? What do you bring to the table when things are not going well in terms of contributing? And that has to be work rate. Rafa doesn't have that. He walks around. That's the negative towards him. And I understand that. But guess what, guys? And I'm going to hate to break the news to you. And I'm not saying anyone's wrong for criticizing him for that. I totally understand it. It's plausible. However, here's the problem. If you expect Rafa to also be that on top of the scoring and contributing, if he doesn't do that, guess what happens? Guess what happens? That's the best player in the world, and he doesn't play for Milan. And truthfully, for me, that's where it gets really funny because I mean, that's just like you don't have to be the best player in every big game all the time. Sure, do we want more consistency from that? Yes, but there's 38 league games. You don't win the title because you beat Inter. You win it because you beat up on the crap teams. His consistency therein lies with dominating the poor teams. And he's got to do that. No one is saying he doesn't have to. But when you're holding someone to a higher standard and you think that they should be playing at a level, like the standard and what everybody wants from Rafael Leao to be is the best player in the world. And again, and it's not because I don't think highly of Rafa. I don't think you guys are insane, but you have to understand there's so much levels to this. There are so many levels. It's not like the guy is actively trying to do this work. You think he wants to hear this shit? Like right? Like I'm not saying you guys think that, but like, do you think he wants to hear this week in, week out about himself? You think this is fun for him? This isn't fun. It's not like he's doing it on purpose. And potential is a funny word too, because we throw out potential based off of our own expectations. We cap people at a ceiling and we put them there and we say, this is what you should be. And if you don't reach that, you're a failure. That same thing happened to Neymar constantly. They do this thing where if Neymar isn't better than R9 at his peak, he's not winning Ballon d'Ors, Neymar's a failure. But you know what? Neymar is one of the greatest players of a generation. Okay? But just because Neymar didn't live up to his potential, people are going to drag him down and try and drag down his legacy with it. That's the problem. I have problems with that because you can't just suddenly make up all these potentials and expectations. And if this person doesn't exceed those arbitrary expectations that you set, then how is that fair to the player? It's not. Like certain games, people have the right to critique players. But sometimes your expectations that you're raising for certain players are just asking too much. Personally speaking, and I've said this, and I love Leao. He's one of the best players I've seen play for Milan. He is not who we hope he could be, and that's the best player in the world. It's tough, it's frustrating, but to get to that level, we need that increase in goal scoring ability. We need that increase in consistency. We need that off. This is tactics. This is tactics. Listen, these are objective talking points, not emotional, objective. Do you understand that? Do you understand objectivity? Because now it's annoying with comments like that. It's dumb. Emotionally. Listen, people are emotional people. Think about it. Talking tactics this entire time. Talking about 4-4-2. We do it every podcast. If you're just gonna make comments, this is the shit I'm talking about. Let's go then. Just go. Don't want to hear it. Talking about this. Michael, I want to talk about your points then, because these are pretty good. Sorry, I'm just late to it. Exactly, Thomas. We just want to be happy. Everybody should be happy. I'm happy. This was more like a 4-5-1. I think Bonetti also made point of this, Michael. I think it's a good point. Obviously we line up as a 4-4-2. But yeah, I mean, listen, this and I know we won. That's what I'm saying, Andy. I'm just saying, like, these comments are just tiring after a while. And do you comfortable with Tomori in the left inside center role because he can't play? Am I comfortable with Tomori being in there? I'm not that comfortable with Tomori in general. Yeah, so for this I have to buy a Calabria jersey. You don't understand what Streets Never Forget means. It's a Delta Rap. It's on MVP of Serie A. Correct. Milan is Rafa, and that was the conversation, Iron Cut. No offense if you joined late. Not your fault. We've been talking Milan the entire hour. Conversations change over the course. Comments are made. Conversations change. That's how it goes. We've been talking about Milan. You could literally ask anything you want. Like, we discussed Milan for like 45 minutes. 45. We do it every week on this podcast that we have here at That Milan Pod. Subscribe to it, please. You do what you want. Well, I'm just saying, we talk Milan the whole time. Yeah, so moving forward, going to be interesting to see how Fonseca goes about these formations, how he views some of these players moving forward. Do they put them in positions to play in this 4-4-2 where they could continue this, or does he want to preserve his strikers and not play with two every single game? That's the real question. It's incredible, right, Troy? And he doesn't take set piece. I think he took one penalty, and obviously that was against Venezia last match. I think he looked okay after the goal, in which he was a big part of about. Bingo, P. Morton. Bingo. Yes. Everything you're saying, praise, that's the gospel. 100%. And I think the 4-4-2 provides that balance. And he played with heart, to give him credit. Not a great player, but he played with heart. So there we go. Guys, we're coming up on an hour now. I appreciate all of you that had tuned in and watched this entire stream. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel, like the video for today. Please join in. It's been great. There's been so many of you that have been tuning in and watching. We appreciate all the comments and all that kind of stuff. It's lined up as a 4-4-2. We're arguing semantics here. He played with two strikers up top that are naturally strikers. Things change within the match. Semantics. Michael, that is a whole other conversation about Milan and their finances, which will be discussed over time. Again, we appreciate you guys so much on the channel. Matt and I work very hard. We've been doing this for years. If you're new to the channel and myself, you can go and follow me at that Martino Pucci, or not. You can follow me at Martino Pucci on Twitter /X, same as Matt _Santangelo. Those are in the description. Again, that Milan Pod on Twitter as well. Subscribe, like, comment. Thank you guys so much. See you next time. Forza Milan.